problem. The other day I was watching anime, drinking my tea, and I realized that I don't have anywhere to put my cup. And I tried putting my cup on so many things, like this stool, this cardboard box, this suitcase, my cat, but none of them felt weeby enough. So today we're gonna be making a coffee table inspired by one of my favorite animes, Demon Slayer. For reference, this is me and my boyfriend after we finished the season finale.
I'm not okay.
I mean, can you blame us? Just look at this thing. The Infinity Castle is one of the trippiest, creepiest, coolest settings I've ever seen in anime. And I'm so hyped for the movie that's coming out this summer. It's a never-ending maze of buildings where you don't know what's up and what's down, where all the most powerful demons live, and I want it in my coffee table. So my plan is to basically make a diorama inside this table. To make it feel really alive, we're gonna use a mirrored top and bottom to create something called an infinity mirror, and it's gonna make the buildings reflect like for eternity. It's gonna be so cool. But first we need to make a base for the coffee table, so let's go do some woodworking. Infinity mirrors. What are they? I'm not completely sure how they work, but I know how to make it work, which I feel like is more important. You need a normal mirror and a two-way mirror that looks like this. This is kind of the setup they have going on in like interrogation rooms in CSI. There's like a suspect inside the room, but everyone's actually watching them. It's this setup. So if we put an object inside, like a Sleepy Time Kirby, we turn off the lights outside here, and then we turn on a light inside. Oh, magic! Now imagine this, but the Infinity Castle inside a coffee table. It's gonna be epic. All right, let's get back to the table base. So I made these boxes out of plywood, and the reason why there are two is so that this outer box can hide all the wires from the lights that we're gonna install later. But how are we actually gonna make the buildings that go inside the boxes? Of course, I could try to make all the buildings out of foam and cardboard completely by hand, but not only are these buildings gonna end up being really tiny, they're also extremely detailed. Like, look at these windows, they're for ants. So instead, to get nice clean cuts without giving myself carpal tunnel, I'm gonna 3D model the buildings and then laser cut them out of wood. The only problem with that is, I don't know how to do either of those things. How the hell am I gonna learn 3D modeling? Bro, I was a humanities major. This is so messed up. But I think I have a plan. I'm gonna start by watching a ton of beginner tutorials and following along in real time. If they make a box, I'll make a box. If they make a coily thing, I'll make a coily thing. If they make a sandwich, I'll make a sandwich. Once I've got the basics down, I'm gonna try to make some small things without a tutorial. This is mostly to build my confidence, which I think is the secret sauce to learning anything. I 3D modeled and printed this because I was sick of living like this. Okay. Every time with the stupid lids, but now, look, I even modeled the flower inside. So nice. Look, I did that, I made that. It's so cute too. Now at some point, I'm gonna run into a wall. I'm gonna come across some problem that I just cannot for the life of me figure out on my own, and that's how I know it's time to bring in another human who knows more than I do. Luckily for me, last year I went to a great maker convention called Open Sauce where I met this guy, Mr. Volt. He made a working Wheatley from the Portal games. Like, that is a level of skill and experience that my new brain cannot comprehend. And he was nice enough to help me out, probably because I asked in a really professional way. I need help! It has officially been 2 weeks since I started learning Fusion, and I am by no means an expert still, but I have modeled a bunch of things. Like, I modeled this giant Genshin vision that I thought would be a cool headphone stand. I also modeled a Soraka Star Guardian staff from League of Legends because I have brain rot. I finally feel ready to start modeling the buildings for the Infinity Castle, and I'm thinking we would need at least 4 different styles of buildings to give that randomized Infinity Castle look. I'm so excited to make these models so we can take them to a makerspace and get them laser cut, because I've had enough of modeling ice cube trays, pliers, and screws. It's really boring, so let's do this. the audacity, Fusion, to tell me that you have maintenance going on 30 minutes before it's gonna happen. I will remember this. We were there for 7 hours. Oh my God. But it was good. I got a lot of testing done. I have to finish cutting today. It's currently 12:03 p.m. and they close at 6, so I really hope we can finish. We're about to close in like 10 minutes, so we're cutting out the last piece. Look at how many pieces we made. Now it's time for us to take this home and assemble everything, so see you there. I'm so happy with how all the pieces turned out. The laser cutter is just, my God, it's beautiful. Except the lantern pieces, those came out a little charred, a little crispy, but we'll deal with that later. In the meantime, I'm just so excited to start assembling some of these and see how it looks. I can't see! What? I added a bunch of little details like these teeny tiny windows that I feel like give it a lot more dimension. The only thing is that these are so fragile, like I broke so many of these. This in LA is a $5,000 a month studio apartment. Oh, they're all the same, but they're all so different. I've been playing Goldilocks for the past month, trying to find the right lights for this table. At first we tried LED strips, but they were too cyberpunky. It's too neon, huh? It's like, So then we're like, maybe let's try fairy lights. But I think we accidentally made a horror movie set because that is so terrifying. And then we tried individual LEDs, which actually looks kind of good. That's kind of the vibe we're going for. Still not bright enough though, so we're not gonna get the infinity effect that we want. But then we found these really bright LEDs that are super tiny and actually fit inside the lanterns I originally made. But of course, they only come in hospital white, so... I'm so sick of looking for the right lights. Let's see if we can color these lights so they look a little less sad. Ah! It worked! We obviously have to add some lights inside the buildings to make it look like demons live inside, but I don't want to buy shoji paper, so instead I'm gonna use parchment paper that I used to use for baking. I don't bake so much anymore because now I spend my time doing whatever this is. professional. It's time! Let's finally get these buildings inside the table. I'm honestly not sure if I made too many or if I didn't make enough, so I'm gonna keep experimenting with the layout until I'm happy with it. I want it to look just like how it did in the anime, so kind of random and chaotic. The scary thing here is that once I super glue the buildings down, there's really gonna be no changing my mind about the layout without completely ruining the inside walls and maybe the buildings too. Oh, this is so scary. I hope it turns out good. I also need to hide all the wires from the lights that we installed, so I'm gonna have to drill a bunch of holes and try and snake these wires through everywhere. I really hope everything matches up perfectly so we don't end up with lots of extra holes for no reason. Everything's in the table, glued. Most of the electrical is it's like half in there, so Danny's gonna help me do the rest. Thanks, Danny! You can talk, you know.
Hopefully we don't blow it up.
Regular mirror goes on the inside. This inner box with all the buildings goes inside. Oh, it's a lot of wires. Oh, just barely. And the two-way mirror on top. Oh. Ah!
You ready?
I'm so nervous.
3, 2, 1.
Coolest thing I've ever made. I have to show my mom. Subscribe.